Hello everyone, today let's talk about some people's favorite Let's Player on YouTube, Jacksepticeye. Recently, about a week ago, Sean McLaughlin aka Jacksepticeye made a video stating he is going to be taking a short leave from YouTube. In his video entitled I Have to Go Away for a While, Sean talks about how he needs to take some time away from YouTube due to personal matters and will be in LA amongst friends. He talks about how after working on YouTube for the past 5 years that he needs to step aside for only a few to get his head on straight and figure things out. Let's take a quick look at his video.
Hey everyone! How's it going? I hope you're all doing well on this lovely day. As you've no doubt surmised by the title of the video, I have to go away for a few days. There's lots of different reasons. I'm heading to LA. I said a while ago that I was going to be heading to LA for an extended period of time, sometime this year, and that's happening. Actually, by the time you watch this video, I'll already be in the air flying there. I'll be there by the time you watch this video. And I'm going there to do a lot of different things. I've wanted to go there for a long time. I've been trying to go to LA for a while, because every time I go there, I go for like a week, and a bunch of people who are there want to do different things together, and I just never have the time. So I was going to go for an extended period of time. So I'm going for 2 months. I will be uploading videos while I'm there, don't worry. That's not the amount of time that I'm going to be gone from the channel. I'm not going to stop making videos for 2 months, but I do need to take some time off to prep to go there. I could have gotten videos done ready for when I'm going, but there's just a lot of stuff going on in the background right now. There's a lot of stuff in my life that's changing. There's a lot of stuff in my life that's kind of getting to me and weighing me down. And in the last couple of weeks, I just haven't been happy. In general, I haven't been in my top best form, and there's a lot of things going on that are kind of stressing me out, and there's a lot of changes happening, and there's a lot of stuff that I want to just get done and I want to focus on. And in the middle of all this, making my videos, I just haven't been making the best content. I haven't been making videos that I'm happy with. There's some games that sometimes I sit down, I have no idea what to play. I end up finding games that are just, they're fine, they're decent, they're not bad videos, but they're just not, they're not at the top tier of what I want them to be.
One reason why I wanted to talk about Jack's brief departure is because he touches on his own mental health when it comes to his job on YouTube. Jacksepticeye, who has over 19 million subscribers on his channel, has managed to successfully stay afloat for quite some time, establishing his own brand and receiving multiple sponsorships in the process. A big part of Jack's career on YouTube is that it requires a lot of time and attention devoted to it. While I understand in comparison to more common jobs such as retail or construction, in which it requires significantly more effort and labor behind it, one could still argue that what full-time YouTubers have to do can have its share of strain still attached to it. Obviously, there's no real contest when you put them up for comparison's sake. Sure, no one will deny it, however, that's neither here nor there when talking about this. Certain professions require some personal sacrifice on some level and require you to go outside of your comfort zone to some degree. Jacksepticeye has been experiencing this to where right now he feels like a little R&R will do him some good. Being a person who makes a video every single day and tries his best to deliver on time to millions upon millions of people certainly has been no easy task for Jack, choosing to devote much of his life to this. Now, I'm not trying to say poor little Jacksepticeye can't handle YouTube, because of course I'm not victimizing Jack in any way, but I'm saying I can see some of the difficulty that could come with something like this. People argue over whether or not YouTube can be considered a job, and whatever your position is on that is irrelevant. Both have their fair share of points, but in the end, when we talk about this guy, then I'd say you have the potential to mold it into a career. This guy technically works for Disney, you know that, right? Like, the fact that he's affiliated with it at all is a big deal. Let's talk about the revenue that he receives of the traffic of people that come his way, or not counting his net worth, which last time I checked was 9 million.
They're not at the max energy that I want them to be. I'm not as happy doing them. I'm just kind of doing them for the sake of doing them. And I thought, you know what, I could get a bunch of videos done and ready. I do have a setup being prepared for me when I go to LA, and I'll still be able to record videos and everything there, but that's not going to be ready for a few days until after I get there. And I thought that I could record videos and pad them out and everything, but what's the point of recording videos that I'm not happy with? I'm not just going to pump out videos for the sake of pumping them out.
He brings up a very good point right here. Just cranking videos out to meet a deadline or just making them to appease others isn't really going to motivate you to make the content you really want to make. Not that every video someone makes has to be a masterpiece or be unique in every conceivable way, but when it feels like it's on an assembly line that you just have to get it out on demand, the fatigue can start to set in and be tiring. Especially with Jack, I'd imagine and understand that it can get old, so him wanting to take some well-deserved time off off is not unreasonable or selfish in any way. Like, I'm not trying to coddle him or anything. Clearly he goes through a much more luxurious experience than most on this platform and in life, that he's able to do this for a living and be able to take a break. But it's just a simple thing, wanting to focus on other things rather than the tedious routine at the moment. I kind of think of last year with Angry Joe when he wanted to take a 2-month vacation from YouTube for a while from doing his normal angry reviews, and his fans got on him because of this. Not saying the same thing is really happening with Jack's fans, but it was an example of someone else who's been on this site for years who simply wanted to take a break from the repetitiveness.
I've never actually seen what it does to just turn off comments, and I was going to experiment by turning them off for a month and see what happens to YouTube engagement and viewership and things like that. And so that's what I was going to do during my vacation, because it seemed like it didn't matter how many reviews I put out. If I tell you I'm going on vacation, then people freak out. I lose subs, and people go insane and attack me and stuff. And it's like, damn, man, all that work that I did over that time feels like nobody gave a shit about it. You know what I mean?
Angry Joe ended up receiving backlash from some fans for wanting to take a vacation despite him making over 1,000 videos and being on for years and years. I can see they're trying to juggle the expectations of the fans whilst meeting their own personal expectations, but I don't think it's too impactful in the lives of the people watching them when the creator just wants to go and enjoy life outside of the internet. Much like life itself, the internet has its good parts and it has its toxic parts, so it's good to cycle between both to help your sanity. Similar to when Markiplier a few weeks ago talked about his niece passing away after an accident, he wasn't able to upload for a while because of the obvious, but as fans, or at least as decent viewers, we should be able to give them the time that they need. They're already putting pressure on themselves because they're trying to do what they can because it's the process. A rinse and repeat cycle anyone should be familiar with if they've worked for a long time. YouTube and the internet in general is taken way too seriously as it is, so having this idea that these people can't go for more than a week or hell a month to go clear their head and sort out their bullshit is ridiculous. Some seem to forget a lot of the content that they're providing is completely free and they do it because they like doing it. You can't control how others really flock towards you, so you're left kind of winging it. Having to deal with set schedules, setting up equipment, having a number of videos you have to record and edit. Not that it's bitching or that I'm personally going through the same as Jack, I'm not, it's just that some do forget what goes on behind the scenes. But also, let's not pretend it isn't better than alternative jobs out there that require much more out of people. I get not being happy with videos that you've been making, and if you're not happy with what you're doing, then it's either time for change or to endure it. It's your channel and you should make videos that you want, that you feel can be entertaining and worth something.
I don't want to run my channel that way. You're not getting content that's decent, and I hate having to do this. This year alone, I've had to take more time off than I have in the entirety of doing YouTube. And I've always been someone who's prided myself on not missing a day, and I've always said that I upload every single day and I haven't missed an upload in all the time I've been doing YouTube. And until like the end of last year, that was true. I had never ever missed a day's upload in 5 years. 4 years. It was 5 years at the start of this year, and my upload schedule has been pretty damn spot on and pretty freaking consistent, far beyond many other channels on YouTube, and I've been very, very happy with that. But at the same time, so much stuff going on this year. I said I was going to make this the year of PMA and trying to make myself get into a better mindset after having a crappy last year. Hasn't always been smooth sailing, hasn't always been the easiest thing to do. Coming back from tours and trying to get back into the swing of things has been really hard to do. And until you actually go out and you do those types of things, coming back, everything feels a lot different because you're so busy on tour. You're doing something every single day and you're doing shows in front of all these people who come out to see you. And then when you come home, everything feels a lot different. You're doing videos just sitting in your room again. And while it does feel like a lot of people are out there watching, even now recording this vlog, it's not really the same thing. So trying to overcome those hurdles and trying to get my mind back in order and everything, it's just hard to do. And just kind of when I'm here in this house each and every day, there's times when I don't even leave my house. I've like for the last 2 weeks, I don't think I've left my house at all to go do anything. Maybe to like go to the movies once or something like that, but I just don't go outside day to day. I'm inside all the time. And I don't really like doing that. And it gets to you after a while, and doing the same videos over and over again kind of weighs you down. So my mental health has not been in the best place recently.
So some hearing him right now are probably thinking that it'd be cool to do those things, to be traveling, meeting people, and I'm sure it is, but I'm also sure that it can wear you down and tire you out after doing it for so long. I can't fully understand his plight, I'm nowhere near the same position he's in, but I'll at least try and see it through his perspective because he's a normal person like you or I. When your mindset is not the best and you're not on your A game, I fully get needing the detox basically to get back into the groove. Isolation and solitude can lead to an unhealthy mental state, having negative effects on what you do, especially with the repetition that goes into it. Then when you find yourself actually out and about, you can't take the time to enjoy it because you're on the move, working, not relaxing here in Jack's case. Sounds like he simply wants to have more fun in life and doesn't want to make it a bigger thing than it is, which it isn't, of course. Really, we're more talking about how whatever your job or profession may be, taking some time away from it tends to be a good thing every now and then, not completely ripping yourself from it, but just setting it aside for now to focus on your state of mind. Of course, not many are able to do that given certain circumstances and situations surrounding people's lives and jobs. But I think if someone has the means to do it, instead of shaming or guilt-tripping them about it, encourage them to do it. He wants to try new things and have new experiences, so it's completely healthy for him or anyone for that matter to explore that for a few. While Jacksepticeye isn't going to be gone for very long, I do feel like him announcing his leave helps open the door for this conversation and to discuss it a bit. I agree in recommending a leave of absence once in a while to go soul searching, to focus on other situations and to reflect on a few things. In Jack's case, he's more than likely going to be in LA to be around friends, to potentially collaborate, or to explore the city and give him some stuff to do. Whatever personal shit he has to go through is his business, and him going is a good reminder that maybe we should consider doing the same thing every now and then. Not traveling to LA specifically, but you know, just getting out in general.
So the reason I've been taking more time off is because I need to. I need to take the time off to get my brain back in order to just get that energy and that motivation back to record the videos. And as I said, I could have forced myself through it to try and make videos for when I'm gone, but it's not worth it. It's dishonest to me, it's dishonest to you. I'm not uploading stuff that I'm happy with, therefore it's not something that I feel like is worth your time. And as I said, I don't really want to upload stuff just for the sake of uploading it, so I'm gonna have to take a few days off. It's not that long. I'm making it sound like a bigger deal than it is. I'm just trying to explain where my brain is at and what's going on, but this is something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and because it's not something, I'm not going for like a week and figuring out all of that then and there. I'm going for like 2 months. So I'm basically going to live there for a little bit and testing that out and seeing what it's like. And the main reason I want to go there is to just do stuff with other people. There's so many times when I want to do projects with other people, do cooler projects for this channel, but I need more people involved to be able to do it. But I can't do that from here. And so many of my friends live in LA. So many of the people who I want to record stuff with, so many like cool people that I highly respect and really want to meet in person are all there. And you'll likely see that as I do things while I'm there. I don't want to say anything now in case they don't come to fruition and I'm just putting out false promises. But there's a lot of people out there in LA that I want to meet up with. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do for myself, like acting lessons, voice acting lessons, voice lessons in general, those kinds of things that I could do here, but I don't know, I've always kind of wanted to go to LA to try it out and see what it's like over there. And as I said, just so many of my friends are over there and I want to hang out with them day to day and do stuff with them outside of YouTube, just in general. I want to go out and hang out and go to a movie with people, go to the beach and hang out and just chat, go to dinner, go play bowling or something. Anything like that. I just miss my friends a lot, and a lot of them are over there, so I want to do that, and I want to record some stuff with them in person rather than having to do it over Discord all the time. So a lot of factors in it. I kind of need a boost in myself to get back on that horse, to get that motivation back. And that's kind of why I said in that Refunked video yesterday, was talking about the PMA stuff and saying that PMA and positive mental attitude isn't just about forcing yourself to be happy and trying your best to just try and be happy all the time, because that's ridiculous. No one is ever that happy all the time. Not even me, the person who is like super energetic and I'm positive 99% of the time. Most of the time when I'm going around my life, I'm happy, I'm bubbly, I'm energetic, and I just try and see the best in everything. But sometimes, not even I can do that 100% of the time, so things get to you, things bring you down, and some stuff has to change to kind of perk you back up. So I'm trying to find that. I'm trying to go out there and find stuff to motivate myself again, because also doing YouTube after this long and doing Let's Plays this long, it can get very mundane and I can kind of rest on my laurels, or my yannies. And just sit back and do it day to day and kind of just let it all, just get complacent with it. And I don't want to do that. I want to challenge myself again. I want to get back to a state where I find that fire and that passion to really try my best to do other things. And I'm seeing so many other YouTubers having like a renaissance on their channels recently. I'm like, I want to find that. I want to find that energy again.
Motivation is a big key towards any goal. Sometimes it requires a few resets of the brain and some mellowing out to help us accomplish said goals. There's no harm in wanting different things for yourself and seeking that refreshment to have a better positive outlook. Not that being sad or depressed is necessarily bad. It's normal, obviously. It's okay to feel like that sometimes, but no one really wants to feel like that or be like that all the time. I've seen many an article talking about Jacksepticeye's brief leave and how he's not the only one who's burnt out on making videos, which can easily happen. After making over 3,000 videos and not doing it once but twice a day, I can see how just maybe you need some time away for a bit. Now, during the making and editing of this video, Jack has uploaded an update video entitled My First Actual Break from YouTube, and honestly, the feels, man, the feels are real here. Not that the other video didn't have its share of feels, but Jack goes a bit deeper into what he's been thinking and feeling in this. Let's take a look.
So it's been about a week. It wasn't supposed to be that long. I wasn't supposed to be gone away for that long. I initially said I was only going to be gone for a few days, and that was how long it was going to take to come here and get settled in. But it wasn't until I actually got here and that I sat down and was on my own for a little bit and I just wasn't uploading stuff that I realized how bad things had actually gotten. Because as I said in the video before I left, before I took any sort of break at all, I mentioned that I've been doing this for 5 years. And that's 5 years of non-stop. I've been doing 2 videos every single day, the exact same time every day for 5 years. And I've very, very rarely missed an upload. And I've taken time off before. Well, I've taken breaks before, and I've taken some time away from the channel and uploading videos. But it's always in quotations because it's never an actual break. It's always working on something else. Every time I've taken a break in the past, it's either to go on tour to make sure that that's going well, or it's to go to a convention, or it's going to do an interview or a meeting or something like that. So every time I've taken a break in the past, it's kind of come with a caveat that I'm doing something else at the same time. I'm still working. I'm just not actively putting out stuff on the channel. And it wasn't until this break, like coming here and coming to LA and hanging out and just not really doing anything for a bit, that I actually took my first time away from everything. Because not only did I stop uploading videos, I tried to completely disconnect myself from social media as well. I was very rarely on Twitter or Tumblr or Instagram or anything, looking around at stuff, not really keeping up to date with anything, because I needed that. I needed to actually get away from everything. I've spent the last 5 years of my life being so bombarded by opinions of other people, good, bad, or indifferent, that like you don't realize what that's doing to you until you're actually away from it and you have a chance to sit back and breathe and actually listen to what your brain is telling you, rather than listening to everybody else's opinions.
So already it's good to hear that Jack was able to find some peace and sort out the baggage somewhat to get his head back into the game. Having that blackout of social media can definitely make you think and see more clearly without having the annoyance of other opinions always affecting you. Because like he said, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent, constantly seeing that and having to process it all the time can probably get on your nerves. You start to think differently, you start to question yourself all the time, and so you try to strive and do better, but then when we don't think we're achieving what we could be, then we'll beat ourselves up, get frustrated, and be doubtful. It can be a little tough sometimes. Like, I feel bad too when I'm not making as many videos as I could be, but for me, especially recently, I've been more doing it by increments, trying to balance out personal, private stuff alongside other jobs and people at the same time.
As the channel has grown, as I have grown, and as I've matured, I realized that a lot of stuff on the channel hasn't. Because I always prided myself on my consistency. I always prided myself on uploading the videos each and every day at the exact same time every day. That consistency was something that drove me, because very few people were able to keep up that level of work ethic, and I was very, very proud that I was able to do it, especially at that level of energy. And the more I did it, the more I realized that that became my thing. Being that version of myself became the thing that I was. And even though it wasn't a fake version of myself, it didn't evolve as I was doing YouTube. It just kind of sat there and I realized that I was doing those things to try and keep that side of me, to try and keep that old sort of nostalgic feel on the channel. And I hadn't realized that after a while that kind of became like a caricature of me. It almost became a parody at one point, because there'd be times when I'm sitting at home and I didn't know what to play, I didn't know what to upload, I didn't know what to record, because either I'm not feeling the best, I'm just sad, I'm sick, or I just don't have the energy to go into it. But because I prided myself on my work ethic, I would just go ahead and do it anyway. And then I ended up becoming that version of myself by just turning on the camera and just turning it on. And I realized that after a while, maybe that became a little disingenuous to do it that way. That it almost became fake by doing that. It was dishonest to do it that way because I wasn't being myself. And freaking out about my schedule and freaking out about letting people down just built up this well of anxiety and sadness in me that I didn't know was there. And it just kept building and building and building. And because I always try and champion the whole PMA thing, and because I always pride myself on being positive and being consistent and everything, I was worried about admitting that stuff to myself. And I was worried about admitting it to other people, because I felt like if I did that, then it would become true. Even though it was already true anyway, but I was afraid that it would change something about myself. And I was so worried that this like positive energy that I was giving off, that if I admitted that I'm not happy all the time, that other people would stop believing in that cause. So I always tried to lead by example and be as positive as I could be, and to give off a good message. And it's something that I wholeheartedly believe in. But at some point I realized that I had built all this stuff onto a pedestal so high that I could never actually get there, and I could never keep that up for a really long time. So instead of it chipping away, it all just came crumbling down at one point.
Jack seems like a genuinely good, nice, humble person who just wants to be able to spread positive vibes, provide something for people to have them enjoy, and be able to help them a bit in some way. It's always nice to hear some form of encouragement from someone else who can understand what you're going through, or at least attempt and care enough to try to. I'm sure there are plenty who look up to Jacksepticeye and see him as an inspiration to keep going with their own type of content, or just like listening to him because he helps put a smile on their face from time to time. Now, of course, some don't like Jack, and that's fine. That isn't really the point of this, not trying to convince anyone to really like anything or not. If you find him annoying or you don't like his Let's Plays, that's totally fine. I like Jack, I'm not a staunch fan or follower, but I casually watch his stuff and enjoy it each time. He's just doing his thing, he's a normal fellow who happens to have a huge following, and he's trying his best to work with it, to be responsible, and to try and provide quality entertainment to those who invest their time with him.
I want to hopefully get more people involved in the Jacksepticeye channel and help to make those things a reality, help to push things further, do more like face-to-face things, do more live action things, do more skits, do more sketches, do more scripted stuff, to do more power hours, do different things like that. Because sometimes I have an idea and I really want to do it, but then I realize how much time is needed to actually set it all up, and I just end up not doing it. And then regretting it because I don't have the time to do it because I'm so worked up on doing everything else. And I know everybody out there will say, well, Jack, take as much time as you need to do the things you want to do. And I wholeheartedly appreciate that. Believe me, the amount of love and support I've gotten over the last week has been nothing short of incredible. And not only from you guys in the community, but from other YouTubers as well. And that's the thing I started to realize as well, is that so many people are feeling that. So many people are feeling the burnout of doing this type of YouTube, because YouTube shifted in such a direction that the grind is stronger than ever. The need to constantly be updating people on what you're doing, to constantly be making content, to constantly be pushing it out into your faces, because that's just what the machine likes. The machine likes quantity. It wants to just continuously have that stuff going on. But a lot of people are starting to realize that that's just unsustainable after a while, unless you have an entire team of people working on stuff all the time.
When it comes to being creative or wanting to try new things, sometimes we can stop ourselves from doing those said things due to fears or restrictions that we see. Like Jack says, sometimes he doesn't have enough time to dedicate to it, so that can start to factor in a bunch of other variables surrounding it to where you'll slowly convince yourself to not go through with it. A little of that fear can be with the YouTube algorithm, that machine that needs to be kept fed. However, instead of worrying about that, we should instead be more focused on our own personal works that we want to do. Understandably, others can be hesitant about this because now the chances of your video being buried, not being seen, or being demonetized are so high that it creates hiccups and bumps for what you want to do. It's having to work around the system and tolerate it for now until it can change somewhat or be reworked entirely, but until that time, it's having to appease YouTube, the masses, and yourself. It's wanting to walk the line of making yourself and others around you happy. Sometimes it's achievable, but other times it may not seem that way. I get wanting to do more various things to see what can work and what doesn't. One reason why I personally do Let's Plays and live streams on the side, not only because I want to do it, but also it's experimenting with the creativity. I think a lot of us can empathize and at least imagine what Jack's been going through, but here in the end, I'm glad that he was able to get what he needed. I want to know what your thoughts on this are. Do you care about Jacksepticeye? Do you care about the topic of mental health, creating content? Please feel free to let me know down below. Like always, everyone, I appreciate you all taking the time to watch this. I hope you enjoyed, and as usual, I'll catch you all later in my next video.